the secret ingredient to healing, fearful avoidant attachment style. Fast, we're going to unveil the one element that can shatter your walls and rebuild trust with yourself and others in astonishingly short order. Imagine for a moment a grand cathedral cloaked in shadow, its spires reaching toward the heavens. But inside, every window is shuttered tight. That's the heart of someone with a fearful avoidant attachment style, yearning for connection while terrified of being seen. In this journey together, we'll explore why self-trust is not merely helpful, but absolutely essential for healing those wounds, and how you can begin to rekindle it today. A fearful avoidant attachment style carries the burdens of both anxious and dismissive patterns. On one hand, there's the terror of abandonment, the knot in the belly that whispers, "They'll leave you." On the other, a cold suspicion that closeness is a trap, that vulnerability equals weakness, and that every promise is a cage. You may have arrived here believing you were simply anxious, chasing affection one moment, only to discover a stony avoidance the next. You oscillate between clutching a hand too tightly and pushing it away entirely, wondering why love always hurts. Let me tell you about little Eliza, who waited each morning on her front porch for her father to return from work. He promised he'd be home for her birthdays, her recitals, her bedtime stories. But 1 year, 2 years, it became a pattern of absence. Young Eliza learned that words held no weight. She became an expert in reading the silences between them. That, my friends, is how a core wound of "I will be betrayed" embeds itself into the soul. It isn't always a violent act of betrayal. Often it's the slow drip of unkept promises and inconsistent affections that carve the deepest grooves in our psyche. What if I told you the true cure lies not in demanding trust from others, but in learning to trust yourself? Self-trust is the cornerstone upon which all other trust is built. When you believe in your own word, when you keep promises to yourself, you create an unshakable foundation. Begin by making tiny commitments. Wake at dawn for 5 minutes of quiet reflection, or dedicate 10 minutes to writing down one truth about your feelings each day. Each small victory whispers, "You can rely on you," and over time that whisper grows into a roar. Our subconscious mind is like a grand theater, projecting the stories we've rehearsed most passionately. If the script always ends in betrayal, that's what we'll continue to see. We must introduce a new script, in vivid color and heartfelt conviction. Engage repetition and emotion to etch fresh neural pathways. Surround yourself with stories of reliable love. Savor moments when people follow through, and journal daily about instances of honesty and integrity you witness or embody. Explicitly name them. Today, I honored my promise to rest. Today, Sarah returned my call as she said she would. Over time, these two actors, repetition and emotion, rewrite your internal play. To understand how trust operates externally and internally, let me share a parable of an old sea captain. He swore his crew to loyalty with a solemn toast, yet when the storms came, he abandoned the helm. His ship floundered, and so did their faith in him. Captain Congruency would have meant steering alongside them through the tempest. Consistency would have shown up on every deck watch. Consideration would have involved feeling their fears. And context would have meant explaining why the North Star had shifted. These same 4 pillars apply to the relationship you cultivate with yourself. Congruence. Align your actions with your promises. If you vow to honor your emotions, do not sweep them under the rug. Consistency. Show up for yourself day after day. Let your self-care rituals be as dependable as sunrise. Consideration. Treat your own feelings with the empathy you'd extend to a dear friend. Ask, "How are you, truly?" and pause for the answer. Context. Understand and articulate the reasons behind your choices. "I'm stepping back because I need clarity" is a gift of transparency to yourself. Once you erect that temple of self-trust, its doors swing open outward. You'll notice, with growing amazement, that trusting others becomes less like leaping off a cliff and more like walking across a well-built bridge. When someone falters, you know you can navigate the repair. When they explain their motives, you listen without suspicion. When they disappoint, you speak your truth without retreating underground. Consider the oak tree, majestic, rigid, its strength lying in unyielding resistance to the wind. In fierce storms, it snaps. Contrast it with the willow, which bows gracefully, bending to the gust and dancing back upright. Self-trust is your willow-like resilience. When life's storms arrive, relationship conflicts, old anxieties, fresh betrayals, you bend, you recover, and you stand again. How? By trusting that your roots, your values, your essence remain steadfast even as the branches sway. Promise journal. List 3 small commitments to yourself each morning. Report back each evening on their fulfillment. Trust audit. Reflect weekly on moments when others honored or dishonored your expectations. Celebrate the honors. Learn calmly from the disappointments. Emotional check-in. Pause thrice daily to ask, "What do I feel right now?" and respond with kindness rather than judgment. Transparency practice. Share one genuine thought or need with someone you trust. No filters, no fear. Repetition ritual. Choose a mantra. "I can rely on me," and repeat it aloud with feeling during your morning routine. Healing a fearful, avoidant attachment style is not a race across a barren plain, but a pilgrimage through your own hidden catacombs, lit by tiny candles of self-trust. It takes courage to tiptoe into memories of betrayal, to cradle those wounded parts of yourself, and to tell them, "I am here, and I will not abandon you." Yet, once you make this journey, you emerge like dawn over the horizon, bathed in light, ready to open every window of that cathedral you once shuttered. So, dear traveler, begin today. Let the secret ingredient to healing, fearful avoidant attachment style fast, be your compass. Build trust in yourself with each breath, each choice, each whispered promise kept. In doing so, you will not only transform your relationship with yourself, but you will invite others to follow, to trust, and to love you in ways you never thought possible.
If you believe this video might help someone dear to you, share it with them. A small gesture on your part could mean the world to a friend in need.